welcome to this week's Tuesday Update. I hope you're doing well. I want to spend a few minutes with you today on, probably the most important part of the mortgage sales business that I could identify when the market is moving like this, right? And a lot of us, I don't know what direction, I think a lot of us go a lot of different directions. And what I want to talk to you about today, encourage you about today, and call it on the table for what it is today, is I got a lot of responses from last week's update about some dialogue and things to look for in a meeting. And to me, I'm 30 years in this, right? So it's coming a little natural. I've been trained up in it. I talk about it a lot. And I'm not just talking about referrals. I'm talking about sales. I'm talking about how you interact in your position as a salesperson in the mortgage business, right? So many times I think when you're building a team, you get your team carried away in processes of the loan instead of sales of the loan. Well, originators, myself included, I don't think are any different. So what am I getting at, or what are some of the focuses, right? Isn't it dialogue? Doesn't this all come back to dialogue? This is dialogue that you have to have embedded in you so that when you're talking, people are understanding how they may be able to help you. That is a salesman. So let me give you some examples. I was on a call the other day. Great salesman was on the phone and talking about past clients, calling them, and it's bring value. We've heard that, show them the value of the house. But his call was waking up the database and making great calls to it. And when he calls the database, what is it that you're saying? Could we be a little more strategic with the path or the straight line we want to run down with some of our calls? The answer is yes. Does it take a minute to think about that? Yes. So I want to talk to you a little bit about a phone call to a database, and let's run through a few different ones that will spark you in thinking a little bit different way when you're on the phone or in person. So if we're calling our database, actually, let's start with that one, with calling your database, because I think that that's a huge piece. And it is about staying in, man, can we change the name of database, right, to your book of business? Could we just change that for everybody? Because then maybe we get a taste of what we're going after, the lifetime value of a client. That can be for a loan originator, a realtor, $15,000 and upwards of $30,000, the lifetime value of the client. It's not putting a dollar amount on the client, but I am saying that it's a lot more than just this one transaction. Or are you a one transaction pony? Maybe some of you listening to this are. That's not a salesman. That's not what takes you to the top. Taking great care of people, wowing them, brings you to the top of the case to say, hey, you got to check that guy out. He's really good. You got to check that lady out. She delivers on a mortgage. She is unbelievable to deal with. Man, is that what we're building? That's a raving fan, right? We're not going to spend a bunch on that. But dialogue does play a huge part in your sales business. So if I'm on the call with a database or my lifetime value accounts, right? Maybe that's the right way to say it. Book of business, I prefer. You can call and you're waking it up. I'm calling to make a check-in call, and I say to them, hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. It's been a couple years since we talked. How are you doing? And you're small chatting, chit-chatting, and you tend to let that conversation lead a little bit. Now, I am saying listen. That's a huge skill in sales, right? Because then you can respond appropriately to fill their need. They're looking for something specific, but when you're calling them, I think it comes a little bit different in the aspect of what line you want the conversation to go down. So if I hadn't talked to you for a couple years or a year or 3 years or 4, some of you, right? Maybe we're reconnecting. Hey, it's Brad over at Element. I wanted to reach out and see how things are going with you. It's been a couple years since we've chatted. How are you? How have you been? Client will respond, of course, that's a great way to do it. I wanted to make sure you're getting our emails and things like that, and make sure that they're not going to spam, whatever. You can bring up any of that in the conversation, right? But what is the straight line I'd like them to go down? What are some thoughts you can put in that conversation without saying, hey, have you racked up a lot of debt? Hey, are you charging a lot? Hey, and got kids going to college, right? You're looking for debt consolidation, refinance, they're at 3%. What about talking about the value of the home, right? That's a good key. I think that's part of the line I'm talking about. Hey, have you noticed the value of your house? Have you seen that report recently? We all have that through MBS, HomeBot, whatever. Find it. If they haven't seen it, you could obviously send that to them and follow up. I've seen it. Have you seen anything selling around in your neighborhood? How's your neighborhood been doing? And I think asking how the neighborhood is doing, you are relating yourself to a stat that says, if someone, this is on NAR's website, right? If someone has a house for sale in a neighborhood within viewing distance, right, of that sign, there's 70% chance of someone else in viewing distance listing that home within the next 90 to 120 days. If that is the case and you ask about the neighborhood, it may lead you down to, do you know of it? Yeah, I actually have a house that one of them went for sale. It's for this amount, blah, blah, blah. Tell you all about it. Do you know of anybody who would be interested in buying that I could talk to? I would love to be able to help put your neighbor in that house, help you out with that. So it's a leading question, right? Another leading question would fall in the lines of, what have you done to the house since you've moved in? We love that one. We were brainstorming the other day and had that one. Hey, have you done anything to the house since you've moved in the last 3 years? I'm sure you've done something. Now I'm going to correct myself on that. Have you done anything to the house since you moved in, right? Have you? Or what have you done to the house since you've moved in regards to improvements? I'm assuming that they've done something to start that conversation. If a conversation is started in regards to them doing some improvements, were you able to pay cash for that or finance it? That will really bring a lot of value to your home. Luckily, I was able to pay cash for it. Man, that is fantastic. What a great move. Have you been prepaying on the loan at all? A lot of people miss that on a mortgage. Man, you prepay, and there's what's called an effective rate, right? An effective rate, not what you're paying, an effective rate. So if you talk to them about, man, I'm at 3, wouldn't it be nice to be at 1.5? Let me show you how to do that based on what we've talked about. This is unbelievable for you. So I want to help them with their money, I want to help them with their mortgage, help them, maybe it's $75, maybe it's $50. The power of prepaying is huge, and I wish I had a stat for you this morning. But I will bet you that 80% of America who has a mortgage does not prepay on the balance. If they have a car loan, they don't prepay on a car loan. There are a few things like that. So I want to spend time on what are the direct conversations that we are looking at to be able to help our clients. So where am I coming at with this? I'm talking about, let's not take a axe into surgery, right? Let's not just blitz a bunch of phone calls to past clients with nothing really planned to say. If you put a plan in place, right? If you put a plan in place, some key questions to take them down a straight line of things that you may want to discuss, you have a better shot than going in with no plan. So if I'm going to shift you to another call here. I'm getting excited. I'm going to shift you to another call I had the other day. And it was about, we're calling the database, we're doing this. And I'm not just focused on database. These are great examples though. So they are calling their past clients. I love that, working that, sending an email at the beginning of the month, whatever it is. And I can tell you, the guys who have followed along with sending personal emails about their summer, some of the things that they've been doing, that letter of the heart, that touch, are making progress when they're doing these follow-up calls even better. And now we add in the straight line. You with me? So don't go in with an axe to surgery. Go in with the scalpel, right? That's what I'm getting at, meaning be precise. What's the point of the call if it's sloppy? If you are calling for with no call to, and I don't even call it that, I was going to say call to action. If you're going at the meeting with no intention or no direction, why? Right? I think that is a silly spent time that could be well more valued. Now we're talking quantity versus quality, right? And the difference in the second call I was going to talk about is that the guy is calling, doing some things to begin the month, and then he drifts off, right? He drifts off in his activity. I'm talking about the regular routine that we're going after. It's not a 2-hour, 3-hour block. It's none of that. It's quality of calls in a focused time. It's like the workout. Is your workout a quality workout, or was it just BS to say you went to the gym? I went in, I lifted some weights. Great, you called some people in your CRM, your sphere of influence, whatever. That's not what I'm getting at. Did you call with purpose? Hey, so if I'm calling on Mondays, let's shift gears. Well, let me finish the story first. So the guy on the other call, stay in the habit every day, like with a purpose. And I don't think you spend it focused in one area. You're focusing it in the theme because it's a trickle effect on the lead tracker, right? You're sprinkling every category with your actions. So if I'm a Monday guy and I call and I'm partners, what's the plan for today's partner call? Don't just go in and say, I called on my partners, do you need anything? We go in with a plan of today I'm going to sponsor 5 open houses and get my stuff in all of them and be the man and stop by that Saturday or Sunday and really deliver on 5 and follow up the next week and get that business as value added to them. I'm going to drop off a gift card, whatever, build the website and a surefire total expert, whatever it is, right? But hey, do you need anything? Hey, have a good weekend. Why don't you come in with something every week? What are you doing in your planning time to improve your business? Are you sharpening the scalpel, in other words? Maybe that's the right way to say it. So when we're going into the everyday Monday, don't go in winging it. Oh, I hit 10 of my partners. What'd you do with it? What did you do with it to get value or actions or added things that will grow your business? One of them would be open houses. Another one would be mailing something to some of the listings that just sold. Some of them might be following up on a survey with the client and the borrower and the realtor and getting something out to HR for celebration. Maybe it's blitzing a couple more signs where your realtor just sold a house. So that other people see it, right into that stat I shared earlier. Point being, we got nothing? See, that to me is a little weird in this kind of market. That's something. Tuesday, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we calling all the clients? What's the purpose? To ask for the business. Are we asking and not tracking the results? That would not be smart. So it's tracking the results as well, right? So are you calling both agents, the client, maybe checking with the attorney? Have you looked at the home insurance agent, right? Hey, what couple agents do you know or partners you know that may help my business? That was last week's call, attaching onto the next off of each meeting you have, the next gain in my business, the next gain, that one more pump, that one more iron on the gym, right? That's what we're looking for. So go to Wednesday. Old leads, past leads, right now, what would be a good brainstorming idea? And I think you have to do this every week. It's not you have to do it. You're smart. You can come up with it. But if you put no effort in there, you're not going to shoot the ball very good. You got to get in and start being ahead of the team. Stay a week or 2 weeks ahead of what you're doing. 2 weeks ahead. I always was told that. Stay ahead of them, you'll win. Stay ahead of them, you'll win. Write that down. Stay ahead of them, you'll win. So when we get onto Wednesday, what would I focus on now? That's going back on all my past leads that haven't converted. A lot of guys are focused in this month and last month. Why don't we go back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months to expired pre-approvals if we need to, right? If they've been expired, why don't we go after that pre-approval or the expired pre-approval or the old lead that didn't really convert or follow through, right? So if I'm calling some of the past leads that applied and never bought anything, I would go after that phone call with, hey, I know you expired about 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and I know you were interested in buying a house. I wanted to let you know about our legacy program. What's that? I just made it up, right? Legacy program. I want to take care of you. I want to take care of you in the future. Just because you didn't find something now and rates are up a little bit, I want to still take care of you. How can I do that? I'm going to tag your file with $500 off closing costs. You call me back. When do you plan to buy? 18 months, 6 months, the next 12 months? What are you thinking? Give you a number. Now, why not in your database have people planning to buy in 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, 9 months? Why not have an accurate list of people you can market to? And then you say, hey, I'm going to get you taken care of with $500 off closing costs. I'm making a note in it. I want to help you get into that house when the timing's right for you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's really nice. Well, and it warms a fuzzy to me, right? They will probably more likely to call me when it's time instead of forget about me, because I can follow up based on the timeline that they gave me. I'm getting what? Precise. I'm getting precise in this, right? So if that's the key, I'm getting precise in the conversation. Oh, and they say, wow, thank you so much. My pleasure. I want to be there when you're ready. Do you know of anyone else looking to purchase or that's been frustrated? I could tag them and give a similar discount when they're ready. I'd love to take care of the people who are important to you. That's it, right? That's where we're going. So that would be a loaded follow-up call, plan of action. And now, do I have to go through all of them? No, man. Can we just grab 10 conversations this Wednesday with people that maybe were going to buy a house, didn't apply, and get them a little closer, a little more surgically closer to where we want to take that deal, where we can help them find their house, right? Then you check in with the agent and we're off and running, because that's a great follow-up call. Hey, I just checked in with them. I noted down they're going to be buying the next 18 months. I went ahead and applied a $500 credit in their notes in their file. I can't wait to take care of them. I got an alert set 2 months before. I wanted to let you know. Do you have any other clients I can talk to today? Let's roll. Are there any other agents not servicing their past to people who didn't buy? What a pool that is, man. What a pool. A lot of guys are talking a refinance pool, right? You got all these deals closing 7.5. Sooner or later, these are going to need to refi. I agree. What about all these people that were wanting to buy a house? Rates creeped up, right? They creeped up. Yeah, they did. And they decided not to wait a little bit, and we take care of them properly. Thursday's my database call. We talked a little bit about that. Friday might be your current pre-approvals. I love running the summer series right now. It gives me a great thing to talk about when I'm checking in besides, have you found the house yet? Nope, not yet. Can I offer? And I know it goes more than that. It's not my point. I'm exaggerating. But if I could make that phone call, hey, I wanted to let you know we just flagged your file. We've got a couple tickets in for you to win. We're going to be doing our drawing on the Blackstone Grill or the $250 off closing costs. I can't wait to have you a part of it. Do you have any friends or family that want to sign up for this? How's the house hunting been going? Have you been finding anything out there? Where can I help out? Have you noticed price ranges? Where are you looking? What search are you looking at? I had a client looking in another city, and I said, have you thought about Charlotte? He wasn't very far. Thought about Charlotte, and now it was far enough realtor-wise. It's a couple hours. He comes in and he says, no, I haven't. Would you mind if I connected you with one of my agents to see if there's something more of appetite for your investment property? Yep, sounds good. Hey, Mr. Agent, I got a client for you. They're looking for investment. I'm hoping we can get them something. I got to have the help. You got to have the help. Are you putting in the week right now that makes a big difference? Let's tear it up. Let's get focused, and let's go into surgery. See you next week. Won't be this long.